My wife gave me a thank you cake for funding her degree. I found it in the trash, next to a note, "You're just a placeholder until I'm licensed." I took a bite, smiled, and vanished. This morning, she was crying at my office reception, screaming, "Please, just let me explain." I found the cake in the trash, still in its box, the frosting barely smudged. The note was taped underneath, like she wanted to make sure I saw it. Black Sharpie on a napkin, "You're just a placeholder until I'm licensed." I stood there in our tiny kitchen, half-lit by the fridge light, holding a slice of vanilla betrayal, and I laughed. Not loud. Just this hollow, echoey chuckle that felt like it came from somewhere deeper than my chest. Then I took a bite, smiled, and vanished. This morning, she was at my office reception in tears, screaming, "Please, just let me explain." And I'll get to that. But first, how we got here. We met in grad school. I was finishing my MBA, grinding through case studies and 70-hour weeks. She was in her second year of a counseling psych program, smart, driven, magnetic in a way that made people confide their worst secrets within 10 minutes of meeting her. Her name's Aria. And when she looked at you, you felt like maybe your mess wasn't so terrible. I was smitten. She was struggling with tuition, so I covered her rent, groceries, even her practicum commuting costs. I told myself it was an investment. In her. In us. After graduation, I took a corporate strategy job, soul-sucking but lucrative. She stayed in school, racking up hours, slogging toward licensure. Nights were quiet, then silent. I'd come home to her headphones in, laptop open, notes scribbled across the table like a war room. She stopped looking at me like a partner and started thanking me like a sponsor. When she passed her licensure exam, I bought a custom cake, Dr. Aria, LPC Rare Heart in gold icing. She smiled, hugged me, kissed my cheek. That night she said she was tired. I assumed she meant from work. Turns out she was tired of me. I didn't find out the full story until 2 nights later. It started with her phone, unlocked for once, left face up on the couch. She was in the shower. I wasn't snooping. I just glanced at a notification that lit up. "So glad we're finally close to making it official, Rare Heart, T." I froze. I knew who T was. Tom. Her clinical supervisor. Married. Mid-40s. Owned the private practice where she interned. I scrolled. There it was. Messages about hotel stays, weekend seminars, inside jokes about my placeholder at home. One message from her: "Once I'm licensed, I'll finally have leverage to leave." My breath caught. I reread that line 5 times. I put her phone down, walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and saw the cake box in the trash. Still sealed. Untouched. That was the moment. Not the texts. Not the cheating. The cake. That goddamn cake. She didn't even throw it away before I saw it. She staged it. She wanted me to see. Wanted me to know I was already history in her head. I didn't say anything that night. Just absorbed it. Like the emotional equivalent of staring at a car crash you can't stop. Instead, I made a plan. The next morning, I left early. I moved fast. I already handled most of our finances. She never paid attention. Her direct deposit was linked to our joint account. Our apartment lease was in my name. I'd been paying her student loan minimums. So I unlinked everything. I opened a new checking account and redirected my paycheck. Took my name off the joint credit card and closed it. I talked to our landlord, gave notice, paid the penalty to break lease early. He agreed to keep things quiet. Then I called HR. We'd had this little policy update last quarter, something about inter-office relationships needing disclosure. I knew Tom worked with us peripherally through a wellness affiliate program my company offered. I made one anonymous ethics report. Included screenshots. Later that day, I ordered a moving pod. Told them to pick it up at 3 a.m. That night, I sat on the couch beside her, acting normal. She told me she might be late coming home Friday, big referral meeting with T. I smiled and nodded. Said, "Let me know if you need anything." She didn't notice my duffel bag by the door. By Friday morning, I was gone. My stuff? Already in storage. My new apartment? Set up. Lease signed solo. The utility bills under my name only. She didn't even know the building. I left the joint account with $100, enough to not raise flags. Just a slow leak. I also left one note. Not for her. For the landlord. Please let the new tenant know the previous one had a habit of confusing ambition with betrayal. Friday afternoon, I watched from a block away as Aria pulled into our old lot, keys in hand, walking up to an empty unit. I didn't expect her to call. But by Saturday morning, I had 18 missed calls and one voicemail that started with, "What the actual F*** and ended with, "Can we just talk?" Nope. And then came Monday. She showed up at my office building. Receptionist buzzed me, said a woman was causing a scene. crying, screaming my name. I walked to the glass stairwell and looked down from the 3rd floor. There she was. Red eyes, disheveled hair, holding the now-rotting cake box. When she saw me, she screamed, "Please, just let me explain." I didn't go down. I just raised a hand, waved once, then turned and walked away. Because here's the truth. She spent years planning a life where I didn't exist. She just forgot I might figure it out first. Update 1. Okay, Reddit. Buckle up. So after she showed up at my office building, I figured I'd seen the last of her public meltdowns. Nope. 3 days later, I get a text. Blocked number. Then another. Then an email. Subject, closure. She wanted 10 minutes. In public. No drama. Swore it wasn't a trap. Said she deserved to explain, and maybe, just maybe, I owed her that. I ignored it. But then I made a mistake. I checked her Instagram. She'd gone full campaign mode, posting throwbacks of us, quoting vague growth and accountability captions, tagging mental health hashtags like this was all some healing journey. One post said, "The truth always finds its way, even through silence." Another had a picture of the cake. Just the cake. Captioned, "You can't throw away something that never belonged to you." What? I didn't respond. But I did screenshot it. All of it. Then I called a friend of mine, Tarek, who's a bar manager and owes me one from back when I helped him negotiate his lease renewal. He set me up. Saturday afternoon. Neutral turf. Half-empty rooftop bar overlooking the river. Quiet. Casual. She showed up wearing the same coat she had on the day we met, this long green thing she used to say made her feel unmissable. Her hair was perfect. Makeup flawless. Fake normal. I stayed seated when she approached. Didn't hug her. Didn't smile. Just said, "You've got 10 minutes. She didn't cry. She monologued. Said she was in a confused place. That she never meant to hurt me. That things with Tom just evolved during her internship and that she thought I knew that she wasn't subtle. I told her no, she wasn't subtle. She was lazy. There's a difference. She said she panicked when she passed the exam. Realized she'd built her whole life off my support and that maybe she was afraid she didn't deserve it. I nodded. Then I pulled out the folder. She blinked. What's that? I slid it across the table. Inside, a notarized ledger of everything I'd paid toward her tuition, rent, and car insurance since 2021. A letter revoking any financial liability under her name effective the date of our breakup. Screenshots of her placeholder texts. Printed and timestamped. A $0 invoice marked paid in full. Her hands were shaking as she flipped through it. She whispered, "Is this legal?" I shrugged. "I'm not suing. I just wanted you to see the number. $47,920.18. That's what I spent helping her become the person she cheated toward." She started crying then. Quietly. Big mascara rivers down her perfect cheeks. I waited. She asked if we could ever rebuild. I asked if Tom's wife knew. She went silent. When I stood up to leave, she reached for my arm. "Wait, just tell me why you disappeared like that." I looked her dead in the eye. "Because I wanted the last thing you saw from me to be silence. Not rage. Not begging. Just absence." Then I walked. Didn't look back. Didn't block her, either. Let her stew. Let her friends dig. And boy, did they. Because yesterday, I got a DM from a burner account with one sentence. She did it to me too. Attached was a screenshot of Tom's old intern roster. 2 names before areas. One of them? A girl named Marin. Marin's LinkedIn was gone. Facebook scrubbed. But I found her Reddit history archived, barely active, and in one post from 2 years ago she described being emotionally manipulated by a mentor during licensure and used until she was replaceable. I'd met her. She replied in minutes. Turns out she left the field. Never got licensed. Said Arya was the next in line and that Tom always picked someone who needed help with hours, a ride home, or rent. My stomach dropped. I asked if she had proof. She said, "Check his Venmo. Public history. Look for pizza emojis and random Monday night transfers." I did. Found one to Arya dated 2 weeks before she moved in with me. Label, "You earned it, Doc winking face." This isn't just betrayal. It's a pattern. And I'm not the only placeholder. I'm just the one who escaped early. Update 2. I didn't set out to burn their lives down. I just wanted to walk away clean. But some people don't let you. Some people toss you in the trash, laugh about it, and then start uploading selfies from the wreckage like they're the ones who survived something. So when I found Marin and read her story and realized there was a pattern to this mess, I stopped walking away and started digging. Tom and Arya didn't just screw around. They groomed. They leveraged imbalance. I mean, think about it, Arya wasn't just cheating with her boss. She was using the man who controlled her licensure hours, her references, her future. And Tom? He was selecting his interns the way you'd pick fruit at a market, ripe, dependent, desperate. Maren wasn't the first. She was just the first who spoke up quietly through an abandoned Reddit account and a locked Instagram post with the caption, "You don't get to be my villain and my mentor." I showed the messages to Zoe, my best friend from undergrad, now a clinical psychologist. She took one look at the Venmo history, the texts, the timelines, and said, "Yeah, that's coercion dressed as consent." Zoe knew someone. An investigator. Licensed. Discreet. We sent everything over. No names. Just facts. Within 48 hours, I had a report. One that mapped a pattern of professional boundary violations across 4 interns in 6 years, each of them tied to sudden drops in licensure progress, abrupt changes in employment, or complete field exits. Tom wasn't just cheating. He was breaking people. But I wasn't going to go public. Not yet. Not until I talked to the only person who deserved the truth more than me. Tom's wife. Her name's Dana. I found her through one of those PTA Facebook groups she admins. She posted about a fundraising bake sale and tagged their family account. I clicked. There they were. Tom and Dana. 2 kids. Matching holiday pajamas. Smiles as wide as the Atlantic. It made me sick. But it also gave me something else, a location. They lived 14 minutes from my old apartment. So I drove. No plan. Just a folder in my passenger seat, a coffee in my hand, and a storm in my chest. When she answered the door, Dana looked exactly like her profile pic, tidy, composed, the kind of woman who still says, "Oh my stars," instead of cursing. I told her my name. Told her I had information about her husband's work behavior. She started to close the door. Then I said, "I'm the guy your husband's favorite intern called a placeholder." That stopped her. I handed her the folder. Inside, screenshots, dates, messages, and a brief write-up from Maren, sanitized, anonymous, but devastating. Also included? The Venmo receipts. She read for 5 straight minutes without blinking. Then she asked, "Was it Arya?" I nodded. She didn't cry. She laughed. Cold and sharp. 12 years, she said. And I still didn't see it. Then she said something I'll never forget. I used to think loyalty meant staying. Now I think it means telling the truth even when it breaks your own life. I left her with everything. Said, "You do what you need to. I'm done playing cleanup." That was Sunday. Monday, Arya's Instagram went dark. By Tuesday, Tom's license was listed as under review on the state counseling board. Wednesday morning, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Just 3 words, "You did this." No name. But I knew the cadence. It was Arya. I didn't reply. Then came the backlash. Tom's clinic issued a statement pending internal investigation. Committed to ethical integrity. Zoe told me Maren was considering reinstating her licensure application with the report I'd helped gather as her statement of cause. And then came the inbox flood. 3 more women. All former interns. One from 2017, one from 2019, and one who never even started because she got a weird vibe and dropped out after orientation. They all said the same thing. The late-night texts. The private supervision meetings off the books. The emotional whiplash. And every single one of them thanked me. Not for bringing justice. Just for not letting it go. So yeah, that's where we are. Tom's career is crumbling. Arya's name is being whispered in every back-channel group chat for early career therapists in our city. And me? I'm not angry anymore. I'm just efficient. Because the man she called a placeholder turned out to be the final nail in their professional coffin. Update 3. Here's the thing no one tells you about betrayal. It doesn't kill you. It brands you. And after the fire cools, after your heartbeat goes quiet again, the only thing that really remains is choice. Do you rebuild? Or do you make damn sure the arsonist never gets to light another match? Let's rewind a week. After I left Dana, Tom's wife, with that folder, I thought my part was done. I'd walked away. I didn't torch the bridge. I just handed someone the map and let her light it on her own terms. But Dana? She didn't light a match. She dropped a nuke. 3 days after my visit, Tom's entire clinic staff was emailed a mandatory all-hands ethics review. That same day, a screenshot started circulating in the local counselor subreddit. It was from Dana's Facebook. Public post. No names, but all the clarity. When a man builds his power on silence, breaking it is the only kind of loyalty that matters. To every woman who lost sleep, confidence, or career traction because my husband crossed the line. Your silence ends now. Because mine just did. It had over 600 shares in 2 days. And with it, cascade. One of the therapists at Tom's clinic leaked an internal memo. The board was formally reviewing all intern placements going back 6 years. Supervisory logs, exit interviews, billing patterns. And then, Tom resigned. Effective immediately. No payout. No farewell email. No legacy. Just an HR footnote. But the real twist was Arya. She didn't just lose her job. She lost her license, or at least, it's suspended pending a dual review for client boundary violations and professional conduct. Turns out she co-signed at least 2 referrals that shouldn't have been approved. And there's chatter one of her old clients has filed a grievance, citing emotional inconsistencies and blurred lines in sessions. Translation: she's radioactive. And without that license, she's not just unemployed, she's unmarketable. Now here's where it gets cinematic. I got invited to speak on a panel. No joke. A friend of mine who runs a startup incubator reached out. Said someone forwarded them a Reddit thread, yep, this one, and thought my story about finance, boundaries, and survival could resonate at an entrepreneur summit. First I laughed. Said no. But then I thought, screw it. Why not? So I spoke. On stage. In a clean shirt and real shoes. Talked about investments, mental health, how love can make you blind and betrayal can make you unstoppable. The applause was loud. But what stuck with me most was the woman who came up after. Mid-30s. Sharp eyes. Said she was an LPC in training. Had seen the cake post. Had almost quit the field because of a supervisor who made her feel replaceable. She hugged me, not because I saved her, but because she saw me. So here I am, sitting in a new apartment. No shared drawers. No placeholder energy. Just peace. The funny kind. The kind you earn by not answering the last text. By not slapping back harder when you could've. By playing chess while they're still throwing checkers at each other's heads. Arya? She's silent now. Her last known move was deleting all socials. Tom? Mia. Clinic shut down for renovation. No one's fooled. Dana? Rebranded herself. Launched a nonprofit this week. Focus. Ethical training and intern advocacy. Name of the organization? No more placeholders. She asked me to be on the board. I said yes, because I wasn't just a placeholder. I was the blueprint. And she threw away the cake. I took the whole house and built something no one could evict me from ever again. Epilogue. If you followed this saga, thank you. If you saw pieces of your own wreckage in mine, here's the takeaway. Your silence is not kindness. Your distance is not cowardice. And your clarity, that's power. You don't have to scream to win. Sometimes you just have to vanish quietly and come back with the deed in your hand. No notes, no mercy, just receipts and peace.